Joining us right now in New York is the global chairman and CEO of EY, Mark Weinberger. And Mark, it's great to see you. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Hi, Maria.
What do you think? Does this fighting with Corker, fighting with McCain, fighting now with Flake, does this hurt the chance for getting tax reform done?
Shocking that people in Washington would be fighting, right, Maria? But it's a distraction.
Right, that's true. Good point.
It's a distraction. But the bottom line is what was really important this week is last week, of course, the Senate came together and put forward the budget resolution, which sets the table for tax reform. The House has to pass it quickly this year. When they do, they'll turn immediately, and as early as November 1, we're going to start to see the real details. The committees will go to work. And the bottom line is they got to get this done. There's less than 30 legislative days left in the calendar year. And I think they're all focused on it. I don't think it's going to be a big distraction from the committee's actions. And I think they're going to do everything they can. Every vote counts. They're going to do everything they can to get tax reform done this year.
Yeah, you know what? It's interesting because they're not just looking at the Republicans. I think the dig in one of the issues here is how many votes they're going to get. Are they going to have the votes to actually get the tax reform package passed? But they're counting on Senator Donnelly. They're counting on Senator Heidi Heitkamp because those are two states, North Dakota and Indiana, that President Trump won.
Yeah, it's a great point, Maria. I mean, first of all, the fact that they're using the budget reconciliation process means that they want to get it done with a minimum of 51 votes. They don't have to get the 60. It doesn't mean Democrats are excluded. And this whole package that's being prepared, at the end of the day, it's going to focus on middle-income tax cuts, no matter what you've seen and heard about so far. That's going to be a cornerstone of it. You will have the doubling or more of the child credit. You'll have the doubling of the standard deduction. You will have other provisions in there. You will also have a major, obviously, desire for small businesses to have a lower tax rate, and you're going to have corporate rates come down to a more competitive rate and an international system that's more competitive. All of that is good for the economy, good for jobs, and good for wages.
Yeah, no kidding. What about this state and local tax deduction? Mark, I mean, look, we've talked in the past, and the highest earners pay 70% of the tax. We know that. The top 10% in terms of earners pay 71% of all the tax. And when you eliminate that deduction of state and local income taxes, that's going to mean higher taxes for some people. You know, you had Congressman Peter King tweeting out that yesterday. You've got others talking about it. Andrew Cuomo, governor of New York, he's basically saying everybody in New York is going to get a tax increase. Do you think they could live with this tax plan without eliminating that deduction? Well,
first of all, Maria, you and I have talked a lot about this in the past. So we know you have to look at the whole package, not just one provision. There is going to be lower rates for individuals through the pass-throughs. There is going to be lower rate for many. Remember, 70% of the people in the United States don't itemize today. When they double the standard deduction, there'll be 90% of the people will not itemize. They will actually not even take the deduction for state and local taxes. So a large portion of Americans aren't even affected by this. 90% of the people who take the state and local income tax deduction earn $100,000 or more. They can clearly figure out a way to, as they're working the bill through Congress, protect those that are in the middle of income, lower income, and not have them lose some of the deduction while taking away from the higher income people. They can make this work pretty easily.
So put a cap on it. If you make more than XYZ, you can't deduct it. If you make less, you can deduct it. Something like that.
We've seen that across the board in lots of different ways. They have the ability, when the math comes down to math, they're going to make that work so that they're going to get the votes they need so that the lower middle income people won't be hurt by that.
Mark, always a pleasure to talk with you. Thanks so much.
Oh, it's great to see you, Maria, even though you're halfway across the world.
I know.